Let's get started then. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today as part of the celebration of the awarding of the Campbell Trophy for this year. I'm Jack Ford. I am a member of the board of the National Football Foundation, have been for the past 20 years or so, a vice chair of the board, and in one of the more enjoyable functions, I get to be the chair of the honors committee that chooses our national scholar athletes and then ultimately our Campbell Trophy Award recipients. So once again, welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to share with us and to share with Brady White. So some quick background on the Campbell Trophy presented by Mazda. It is indeed the premier national scholar athlete award in the world of football, recognizes an individual not just for their football accomplishments, which are always exceptional, but also for their academic accomplishments and their roles in the community. To give you a sense of all of this, we had this year some 199 semifinalists, from which we ultimately chose our 12 finalists and then our Campbell Trophy Award winner. The award goes back to 1990. And if you look at some of our past honorees, it's a list of luminaries, not only for what they did in college, but when you look at what they've done with their lives afterwards. Clearly, this award is a precursor to continued success in their lives. Some names you might recognize, certainly Peyton Manning, Tim Tebow, Christian Wilkins, last year's recipient, Justin Herbert. Now, the award comes with a $25,000 graduate scholarship, also a 24-inch, 25-pound bronze trophy. And I want to mention that several organizations are important, lending their support to the National Football Foundation and our efforts to promote scholar-athlete ideal, which is such a significant part of our mission and who we are. They include Fidelity Investments, the New York Athletic Club, and especially in terms of the Campbell Trophy, Mazda, which became the presenting sponsor just back in 2019. Mazda has done a tremendous job in supporting the ideals of the Campbell Trophy Award. So we are delighted that this year's recipient is Brady White from Memphis. Let me tell you a little bit about this process here. I mentioned to you 199 semifinalists chosen, and we on the committee frequently describe this whole process as a delightful dilemma. Delightful because we had 199 extraordinary young men, young football players, young scholars, young community members. That's what makes it delightful. A dilemma because we had precisely 199 young men who were all just extraordinary in what they've done with their lives so far. But I can tell you this, we got to our 12 finalists, and this is not to diminish in any way their accomplishments, but Brady immediately rose to the top. We oftentimes find ourselves in the midst of conversations about this one is fabulous, this one is more fabulous, where do we go? But I can say to you that very quickly, we all looked at ourselves and we said, Brady White is our Campbell Trophy winner this year for such very good reason. We'll give you some of that background. Again, we as a society tend to focus on numbers sometimes to illustrate successes, and they do, although there's oftentimes more to that. But let me give you some numbers here for Brady White. A 3.58 GPA, graduated in 3.5 years with a degree in business, then achieved a master's degree in slightly more than a year, and now is in the midst of achieving his PhD in liberal studies. And we've been doing this award for more than a half century. Many of us have been around for decades talking about no one could ever recall anybody in the past having achieved this level of football success while pursuing a PhD. So that by itself was breathtaking for all of us. The most decorated quarterback in Memphis history, some more numbers, throwing for more than 10,000 yards, 90 touchdowns, led the Tigers to the first outright American Athletic Conference title, school's first New Year's Bowl appearance during the 2019 season, registering 28 wins as a starter, the most ever for a Memphis quarterback, and then becomes the first Campbell Trophy winner from Memphis and also, of course, from the American Athletic Conference. So you can see why in the midst of this delightful dilemma for all of us, it became an easy delight for us to say that Brady White would be our Campbell Trophy recipient this year. So Brady, congratulations to you. We are so delighted. We certainly, given the world what we're in now, would we have liked to have spent time in New York? Yes, but the reality is we've been able to spend a little bit more time with you here than we have in the past. I know that you received the information that you were the recipient here in a phone call from the legendary Archie Manning, who is our chairman. And I have to believe, look, I've been a friend of Archie's for 3 decades. I'm still in awe of who he is and what he represents in terms of the football world. So I got to believe getting on the phone call and that Mississippi drawl saying, hey, it's Archie Manning, I want to congratulate you, was a magnificent experience for you. Tell us about that. And then about, with this vast array of awards you've received, and deservedly so, what does this one mean to you?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, it's been an absolute privilege to talk with Archie over the last few weeks, and he even reached out towards the end of the year as this award was getting down to the semifinalists and whatnot. And so I just want to let him know how appreciative I am for that relationship, for those phone calls, and getting that final phone call with the good news was honestly a dream come true. And this award was something I, at the beginning of the season, I really wanted to be a part of, and it means a lot to me. So to finally, hear the good news and know that I'm the winner of it, I can't be more honored, more blessed, and more grateful to represent this prestigious award and to be welcomed into this special fraternity.
I do have to tell you that in our room, when we were doing it virtually this year, but around the virtual table, there were a number of us who had played college football. I played at Yale back in the 1970s, and we all looked at each other when we pulled your bio out, and we said, we were such slackers. How so I guess the question is, it's one, life is always about balance, but how are you able to balance this extraordinary football success with the pursuit of a PhD?
Yeah, well, I first want to give credit to my Lord and Savior who created me and has gotten me to where I am today. Without him, I wouldn't have my family, I wouldn't have football, I wouldn't have anything. So I'm extremely blessed. I'm extremely grateful for my amazing parents that I think they're the best parents in the world. The way they raised me and my siblings and pushed us to be the best that we can be in whatever we did, whether that was sports, school, extracurricular activities. I have a lot of my success and just what I've achieved. I have a lot of respect, and my fingers point to them when it comes. And then I think when is playing football and taking on the academic world, whether it was high school or college, I've got to thank my coaches and all the academic support. So all the way from elementary school through high school, and then obviously in college at Arizona State and at the University of Memphis, I've had some phenomenal coaches that have helped me achieve my dreams on the field, but that have also pushed me to be the man that I am today, and have challenged me in that way. And then I've had phenomenal academic support with professors, academic advisors, deans, everyone offering their time and effort to help me get where I am today. And I also, am proud of myself for challenging myself and pushing myself and wanting to achieve excellence in the classroom, not just on the field.
You mentioned your coaches. Let me bring Coach Ryan Silverfield into our conversation here with you. Coach Silverfield, as many of you know, Tigers head coach, became that at the conclusion of the 2019 season, led the Tigers to their first major bowl game appearance. This year, he coached the Tigers to an 8-3 record, including a win in the Montgomery Bowl. He had the highest winning percentage of any Memphis football coach in their first season, and was also the first coach to win a bowl game in their first season as a head coach. So Coach Silverfield, welcome to you. Congratulations to you on this exceptional year for you and the Memphis program. And let me ask you a question which is similar to the one that I asked Brady, which is, as a head coach, what does this award, to have a player of yours be recognized as the premier scholar athlete in the country, also in recognition of the extraordinary athletic success he's had, looking at what he has done as a student, what does that mean to you, and what does it say, do you think, about your program?
Well, I think full credit should go to Brady White, and you couldn't ask for a better young man to represent your university and your football program. And I think that's what you strive as a head coach to be, is to create a culture of young men and hope that they turn a certain way. And obviously Brady has been mature throughout his entire career, but I hope that part of this process was being at the University of Memphis and being around him assisted in that. And we're proud and honored that he represents our program, our university, and the award. And you couldn't be more thrilled or honored for a young man. And I've told the media this a few weeks ago, when people always ask me, what does Brady White mean to me as a person? What does he mean to our program? And I said, the best honor you could ever show somebody is, I don't have kids. And if I ever have a son, I hope he grows up to be like Brady White, because he represents and does things the right way in all walks of life. And it's been an honor, a privilege to know him. I consider him a young man that I do consider like a son, a friend, and I wish him, and like you said, those that have won this award, we know they're going to be outrageously successful in all walks of life. And he has been, and he will continue to be. And I'm just so proud that he represents the university in the right light.
Well, we all know that you can't have the kind of athletic success he's had without extraordinary coaching, but it's also important for us here to know, and for the greater community in the nation to know, that in order to have this kind of academic success, you also need coaches who have the sense of balance, who understand what's important in developing not only the athletic life of their charges, but also the academic and the community life of those who play for them. So, Coach, congratulations to you for all that you've done for this program, and certainly for Brady. I'm going to hand this over to Trent and let him moderate some questions that I'm sure the folks in the media have. Trent?
Sure. We'll take questions for Brady. If you do have a question for Coach Silverfield, feel free to just specify that with your question, and I'm sure he'd be glad to unmute and answer your question. We'll start with Terry.
How you doing, QB1 doctor?
I'm doing great.
I know, man, all this season, you was getting all the academic awards, you telling how important the scholarship was, and to you is almost as important as football. So what did this actually mean for you, and also for the set the example for others coming behind you?
But, like I mentioned earlier, it means the world. I'm extremely, extremely proud to be the recipient of this amazing honor and amazing award. And before I go any further, I do want to give a huge thank you to Archie, Steve, and Jack, and everyone else involved with the National Football Foundation for, putting this all together despite a crazy year with COVID, and obviously things are different, but I want to thank them more than, I can do enough. So I appreciate you guys. But back to your question, it means everything. And it's something that almost carries more weight, in my opinion, than any football award, just because it represents so much more. It represents athletics, academics, and what you do off the field within your community. So I'm very proud and very grateful.
Mark?
Hi, Brady. Following up on the earlier question, when you do work on your dissertation, or even anything you did academically while you were putting in all these hours learning, on your quarterback duties, was there a specific time of the day or place that you would go to take care of that, and just kind of detail about what your time management technique was?
Yeah, I think time management is obviously crucial in order to be successful in all facets, as a student athlete, on the field, off the field, in the classroom. And I didn't have any specific, designated area where I would, kind of handle it all. I think I just did a really good job at, utilizing the personnel that we had to help me, utilizing the resources I had at the university, and figuring out the best blend of schedules for schoolwork and all my work that I need to do for football. And so, you can even ask Coach Silverfield. There was times I would finish watching film up at the facility, but I would just stay up there and I would use the computers up there to log into my U of M account and do my schoolwork up there. There's times I would go home and do schoolwork and then watch film on my iPad. And so I think I'm not going to say that I figured it out and got a grasp of it, but I think I did a pretty good job at handling my time and managing everything.
Jordan?
Hey, Brady. I'm with Sports 360 AZ, so I know you've had a lot of success at Memphis, but can you maybe reflect a little bit on what your time at ASU was like and how that sort of helped you along your journey here?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I got started, and I'm still, a Sun Devil alumni, which is crazy because I'm an alumni of two different universities. But my time there, football-wise, was a phenomenal learning experience with a slim area of playing experience before an unfortunate injury. But I think just the people and the relationships that I developed there, whether it was coaches and teammates, but also, with Gene and Scotty Graham and all of my academic, Erica, Jason, Skip, all those people played huge roles in who I am today and just my academic achievement and success. And I was obviously able to, graduate at a pretty rapid rate at Arizona State. And that helped me be in the situation where I was able to grad transfer with plenty of years left to play. And so, that point in my life and career, I owe a lot of credit because without it, that's part of my journey. Without it, I wouldn't be here today.
Evan?
Brady, good to see you one more time, my man.
Good to see you, sir.
All right. Just with everything that kind of happened this senior year, I mean, the bowl game, the wins, the recognition, and the team success. I mean, does this just kind of put one more star into how kind of special this year was for you, coming back and enjoying just this time in Memphis and just being able to leave as the first winner in school history for the Campbell Trophy?
Yeah, I think it just kind of adds on top, like you mentioned. Like I said, it's such a prestigious and such an incredible honor to just be in, with the group that I was in with the semifinalists. And I want to give them credit too, because it was a phenomenal group of young men that were up for this award. And so that just adds to the weight and the honor that, for me being named the winner of it. And so I'm extremely thankful. Can't say enough thanks to everyone involved that helped put it together, that helped recognize me with this award, but also the people that have contributed to my life and my journey in athletics and academics. And so I think it's an award for not just myself, but for the university and everyone else who's poured into me.
Bill?
Hi, Brady. Good afternoon. Congratulations. I guess I had two kind of questions, sort of. With this doctorate, I mean, what are you pursuing to do maybe with it in terms of life after football? And what was the biggest adjustment you had to make, I mean, on and off the field, like everybody else, for a student athlete amid this COVID-19 pandemic to accomplish all these things?
Yeah, well, so for your first question, I've got, my entire focus is on being a football player here in the next phase of life. But I do know that football is going to end, and I fully plan on completing my doctorate degree and utilizing that. Now, I will say, I love sports and I love football, so I know what I want to do after it is going to include this sports world. And so I'm intrigued to see what doors will open and where I'm able to utilize my education and what I've achieved in the classroom. But that's still, up for discussion, and I'll figure that out, obviously, as I move forward in my life. And then, with the crazy year and the COVID season and school year and whatnot, believe it or not, the transition and the change and whatnot wasn't crazy for me in the classroom part, because I've been so used to the online learning, I would say, environment and experience. And so that wasn't much of a change for me. Now it's definitely challenging at the level that I was at, and having to do everything online and not really having the same access as a, on-campus professor or physically meeting with them or whatnot. So there was some challenges with that. But like I said, there's tons of kudos that go out to everyone else who helped me through those things. And then I think there's more challenges athletically with, not being able to go to your facility and work out or throw on your field because everything's locked down, and not being able to have large groups of people together. And obviously things got better, and we worked our way up as we got closer to a camp type feel. But that was probably the biggest difference, was the off season for sure.
Matt?
Hi, Brady. Congratulations. When you decided that you wanted to try to accomplish all of this, the master's, the PhD, be a high-level football player, was this one grand plan where you sat down, got in a room with your advisors and your parents and said, I'm going to do this, this, and this? How did you kind of approach all that? And secondly, what's this award mean to you to see your name up there with so many of the greats on and off the field who have taken home this trophy before?
Yeah, so I think when I hit junior high, I really had I always, as a kid, dreamed of being an NFL football player, and, obviously wanted to do well in the classroom. But I think when I hit junior high, I had an extremely strong conviction and confidence, and like I could see it very easily that, this is going to be possible. And this is definitely something I can make happen, like in real life, not just a dream or thinking about it. And so you could talk to my parents, you could talk to anyone that's known me for my entire life. I've committed a lot of my life and a lot of my time, even growing up and as a junior high or whatnot, dedicated to mastering my craft on the field, and then also pushing myself academically. And so, I went into high school knowing I wanted to, enroll in college early, which I did. I graduated in December and was at Arizona State in the spring. And that helped me get a jump start in all phases, football and in the classroom. And so it's always been just who I am and how I'm wired. I want to be the best I can possibly be in everything that I do. And it was part of my college decision. I wanted to push myself academically. And when I saw the Barrett Honors College at Arizona State, I wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to be a part of the football program that was there. And then obviously God had a little change of plans for me, and I was in a position where I could transfer, and I was already graduated, and my journey just went through Memphis, which was one of the best decisions of my life, and an absolute blessing. And so that's kind of how I've always been, wired and built. And then, like I said, it's an extreme privilege to be joining such an incredible fraternity from this award, and I hope that I build on the legacy that it has, and build on the legacy of the group of people that have won this in the past, and add to that resume. And so I'm extremely honored, extremely grateful, and hope that I represent it well, because I'm proud to be the Campbell winner.
Tony?
There we go. Hey, Brady, we can all see watching you play, going up against certain defenses, certain secondaries, the challenges that exist. Let's talk about some of the challenges academically. Walk us through a class or a paper or a project that you had that was particularly challenging, just like it would be, a certain defense on a football field.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's tons. I mean, there's too many to think of, honestly. Literature reviews, group research projects that, are a minimum of 20 to 25 pages, and, doubling the amount of resources and sources that you're using and citing. Classes that maybe don't necessarily sound hard with the title of the course, but you start breaking down the contents and it's just confusing or things you've never really thought of before. And so it's been wild. And I think once you reach the graduate level, it's a lot more research, a lot more writing and group projects rather than little assignments and things of that nature. Discussion lists are part of participation, but it's like ×5. You need to actually have really good content that you're discussing and citing sources and then responding to all your classmates and then responding to their responses. And so it's just everything, jumps up a whole nother level. The expectations are much higher. And so fortunately, I had phenomenal professors, some phenomenal advisors that they're willing to work with you and they're understanding, especially with my type of schedule. And so I have a lot of credit, a lot of thanks and give them a lot of credit for helping me along the way. I also want to give a lot of credit to my girlfriend who was emotional support and encouraging and super helpful amongst times where it was probably a little bit tougher than other times. But it's hours on hours of reading, hours on hours of investing into what you got to do in order to be successful in the classroom. But I always reminded myself that this is an extremely awesome opportunity and such a blessing. And it's a privilege to be, working on your doctorate while playing football, even though it's tough as hell. And I will not say that there was one day that went by that I thought was easy. It's well worth it. And I'm extremely grateful to be where I'm at.
All right, last question from Mark.
Yeah, are you working on a dissertation? And if so, what's the title of it? And also, a lot of people think that college football players and college athletes in particular have, time pressures on them that are a little too overwhelming. Is there any suggestion you would make that would make the life of a student athlete a little bit easier?
Yeah, so I'm not on my dissertation yet. I'm majority of the way through my coursework, and when I do pick up where I left off from this semester, it shouldn't be long before I'm working towards that dissertation. So can't answer that question fully yet, but I'll get there. And then it's I knew going into college, and it's tough to have this kind of mindset as a young kid, but I feel like I've kind of been mature beyond my years. It's a full-time job, man. Like, people work jobs and they do school too, and so they've got a lot of responsibility as well. But I also do want to point out that I think a lot of people underestimate what is asked of a student athlete. And I'm not saying that there's no pity for us, and I don't think we should be complaining, because what a gift to be getting your education paid for and playing a game for potentially a living, and to help the university, grow and profit, and to bring so much joy and happiness and excitement to a program, a university, a city, a state, who knows? It's an absolute honor. So that's the way I looked at it, as a blessing and a gift. And there's tougher days where it's easier to gripe and complain, but I think you got to be mature and understand. But it also is, you are not normal as a Division I student athlete. You are not normal, and you cannot have a regular person's mindset, because it's a full-time job that requires more. You can ask Coach Silverfield. You're waking up at 6 a.m. or earlier to get to practice, and I'm not getting home till 8:39 p.m. because I'm staying up there. You're practicing, you're lifting, you're getting treatment, watching film. In some cases, I'm doing homework up at the facility if I know I'm not going to be able to go home and do it, because I need to get sleep, because sleep is extremely underrated. And on top of that, you got to feed. So there's a ton of different facets that go into being a student athlete. But amongst all the craziness and the whirlwind that it is, it's extremely fun and it's extremely rewarding. And so I'm very, very grateful for my time as a student athlete in college, and hope that I made a positive impact, you know, on and off the field in the communities that I was in.
Jack, I'll turn it back over to you.
Right, Trent, and Trent, thank you to you and coach and everybody at Memphis for all the work that you've done in helping this award along the way. A couple of quick reminders for all of you out there. Brady will be featured on the virtual Home Depot College Football Awards show. Airs tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. He's also going to be recognized as the Campbell Trophy recipient with a video tribute during the College Football Playoff National Championship game on January 11th. So Brady, once again, congratulations to you on joining this pantheon of exceptional men. Interestingly, all very different, from very different backgrounds, grew up in very different areas, played different positions, different academic paths, different professional paths, but all bound together by one thing. And that was, and you mentioned it here, that was the opportunities that college football provided to them and the love that they have for that game. So Brady, congratulations to you. And once again, thanks to all of you for joining us as we celebrate Brady White and the Campbell Trophy. Thanks again, everybody. Be well.